Another day, another story. The coronation of Charles III and his wife, Camilla, as King and Queen of the United Kingdom and the other Commonwealth realms is scheduled to take place on Saturday the 6th of May 2023, at Westminster Abbey. Compared with previous coronations, the ceremony will undergo some alterations to represent multiple faiths, cultures, and communities across the United Kingdom, and will be shorter than his mother's coronation in 1953. This will be the first coronation of a British monarch in the 21st century, and the 40th to be held at Westminster Abbey since 1066. The Duke of Norfolk, Edward FitzAlan Howard, is in charge of organising the coronation as hereditary Earl Marshal. The official photographer of the coronation will be Hugo Bernand. He had previously been the official photographer for Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005. On the 5th of April 2023, the official invitation from King Charles III and Queen Camilla was unveiled and sent to about 2,000 guests. The coronation emblem was designed by Sir Johnny Ive, with his creative collective love from and depicts the flora of the four nations of the United Kingdom, in the shape of St. Edward's crown. On the day of the coronation, the King and Queen will travel to Westminster Abbey, in the Diamond Jubilee coach, drawn by 6 Windsor Greys, as part of a procession known as the King's Procession. The Sovereign's escort of the Household Cavalry Mounted Regiment, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, will take part in the procession, which will go along the Mall, down Whitehall and along Parliament Street, and around the east and south sides of Parliament Square. Faith leaders and representatives from the Jewish, Sunni, and Shia Muslim, Sikh, Buddhist, Hindu, Jain, Baha'i and Zoroastrian communities will form the first procession inside the Abbey. They will be followed by ecumenical leaders and representatives from the Commonwealth realms, whose flags will be carried by national representatives, accompanied by the Governors-General, and Prime Ministers. The King and Queen will arrive at 11 o'clock, and form their own procession, accompanied by the Marquis of Anglesey, the Duke of Westminster, the Earl of Caledon and the Earl of Dundee, who will carry the standards of the quarterings of the Royal Arms, and standard of the Principality of Wales. Charles will be attended by 4 pages of honour. They are Prince George of Wales, Lord Oliver Cholmondeley, son of the Marquis and Marchioness of Cholmondeley, Nicholas Berkeley, grandson of Sarah Troughton, and Ralph Talmash, son of the Honourable Edward Talmash. Camilla will also be attended by 4 pages of honour. They are her grandsons, Gus and Louis Lopes, sons of Laura Lopes, and Frederick Parker Bowles, son of Tom Parker Bowles, and her great-nephew, Arthur Elliot, son of Ben Elliot. Camilla will also be accompanied by 2 ladies in attendance, her sister, Annabel Elliot, and the Marchioness of Lansdowne. The coronation service will be conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, who is the senior bishop, and a principal leader of the Church of England. The King and Queen will have a silent moment of prayer, before seating themselves on their chairs of estate. The Archbishop will ask the audience in each direction of the compass separately, "I here present unto you King Charles, your undoubted King, wherefore all you who are come this day to do your homage and service, are you willing to do the same?" The crowd will reply, "God save King Charles," every time. Charles will take the coronation oath as administered by the Archbishop of Canterbury. In the lengthy oath, he will swear to govern each of his countries, according to their respective laws and customs, to mete out law and justice with mercy. Prime Minister Rishisunak, and Dame Sarah Mullally, will read Colossians and Luke respectively. Charles will be anointed as the choir sings, Zadok the priest, and his cape will be removed, after which he will be seated in King Edward's chair. The sword of state will then be handed to Charles, who, after a prayer is uttered by the Archbishop of Canterbury, will place it himself on the altar, and the peer who had been previously holding it, will take it back again after paying the redemption money. Charles will then be invested with the armills, bracelets, stole royal, robe royal, and the sovereign's orb, followed by the sovereign's ring, the glove, the sovereign's scepter with cross, and the sovereign's scepter with dove. Charles will then be crowned by the Archbishop of Canterbury, with the crowd chanting "God Save the King." At the exact moment St. Edward's crown touches the monarch's head. At the moment of the king's crowning, 21 gun salutes will be fired at 13 locations, and on deployed Royal Navy ships, along with 62 gun salutes, and a 6-gun salvo at the Tower of London, and Horse Guards parade. Charles's elder son and heir apparent, William, will offer to him their fealty. The Queen will be anointed without a screen or canopy and then presented with the Queen Consort's ring. She will then be crowned using Queen Mary's crown. The decision not to use the crown of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, avoids a potential diplomatic dispute with Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India, which have all made claims of ownership of the coin or diamond in the past. Camilla will be presented with the Queen Consort's scepter with cross, and the Queen Consort's rod with dove, before walking over to her own throne beside the King, where she will sit. The King and Queen will proceed to the west door of the Abbey, as the national anthem, "God Save the King," is sung. On the return journey, the King and Queen, in the gold state coach drawn by 8 Windsor Greys, and the royal family in other conveyances, will take the same route in reverse and return to Buckingham Palace, in a larger ceremonial procession, known as the Coronation Procession. Over 5,000 members of the British Armed Forces, and 400 Armed Forces personnel from at least 35 other Commonwealth countries, will be part of the 2 processions, and 1,000 more will be lining the route. Upon returning to the palace, the King and Queen will then receive a royal salute from the armed forces and join the other working members of the royal family on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to review a 6-minute flypast of more than 60 aircraft. A grandstand was built in front of Buckingham Palace, with 3,800 seats offered to armed forces veterans, NHS and social care workers, and representatives of charities with links to the King and Queen, who will be watching the procession and the flypast. In addition to the coronation ceremony, the event will be marked by public ceremonies and celebrations in Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the British Crown dependencies and overseas territories. Long live King Charles! God save the King! I hope this video is informative. Like and subscribe to see more interesting content. Thanks for watching.